Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Akil, and I just got done watching Wendell and Wild. I know I'm a little late to this, but this is going to be a catch-up review. Hopefully I can do some more before I go overseas once again for like 3 weeks. But anyway, guys, what happened, man? Like, I was actually looking forward to watching this movie, and I gotta say that Henry Selick let me down. I love The Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, it's on my top 50 favorite movies of all time. I think Coraline is a good movie, and I also have some respect for James and the Giant Peach. But honestly, I think this movie is my least favorite Henry Selick movie, which is sad, and I'll explain why. So to start with, right off the bat, this might disappoint you, but I'm gonna say that Wendell and Wild is an okay movie, guys. Yes, it's an okay, alright little movie, and that's all I can say about it. Now, the story of this movie, without really spoiling too much, is involving the girl K2 who is put in a very tough place in her life, and family tragedy occurs at the start of the movie, and she's pretty much having to fend for herself, and along the way some things happen, and eventually she comes across these two demons known as Wendell and Wild, who as it turns out are her own personal demons, and things start going crazy. And if you've seen the trailers, I guess you can kind of know what this movie's about. I mean, I don't even remember what the trailer was. Heck, I didn't even see the trailer, I'm pretty sure, but anyway, maybe I did, I can't remember. But point is that it's an animated stop motion animated movie directed by Henry Selick. It has a bit of a Nightmare Before Christmas Coraline vibe to it with the horror gothic elements, but honestly, it's not as crazy and as intense as I thought it would be. And considering that this movie is rated M, which is the equivalent of PG-13 in the States, it's crazy because they even said blood and gore, and there wasn't barely any blood and gore in this movie, which is very, very crazy why they rated it like that on Netflix. But anyway, it is what it is. So that's really the story. She comes across these demons, and from there, we get our story. That's all I can say without really spoiling too much. And also, I guess you can kind of say she's an orphan as well. So there's that. Now, in terms of the positives, the stop motion animation is by far the best part of this entire movie. And it's great to see that at least the animation of Henry Selick's movies are still looking great. Like Coraline looks amazing. Night Before Christmas, I watched a scene the other day, like yesterday actually, and it still looks great. And honestly, the animation looks really good. In fact, this may be Henry Selick's best looking animated movie because it just has a very modern, unique feel to it, and the character designs are all great. And speaking of the characters, I actually like some of the characters. Wendell and Wild are fun characters, not the funniest, but fun bunch. The main character is kind of cool, I guess, and some of the other characters that Cat interacts with as well. So there's that. And finally, in terms of positives, I do have to say that the overall feel of this movie was unique. It was very different because it just had a very unique vibe to it. Like, it didn't feel like, oh, another stop motion anime movie I've seen. Like, I like the dark aesthetic to this movie, and that's why I really, really respect it. Like, it felt very dark and unique and gothic and all type of stuff. The voice acting was also great too, but I do want to say, the more I think about it, the dark aesthetic of this movie really made it feel like something totally unique and different. So there's that. Now, in terms of the negatives, the story here was just not working for me at times. I don't know what happened here, man, but Henry Selick and Jordan Peele both wrote the script, and it shows. And I didn't even know Jordan Peele wrote the script as well, alongside Henry Selick. But when the credits were rolling, and I watched the credits, like the short credits, not the ones with black screen and the names going up the screen slowly, but the short credits, just to see the actors and all that. But anyway, Jordan Peele and Henry Selick wrote the script, and it shows because it feels like two different storylines combining, one feeling realistic, one feeling like fantasy-like and all that. And honestly, I don't think it worked very well. There's also too much going on in this movie at times, especially towards the third act. It kind of feels clunky, messy, and uneven. So there's that. Now, another thing in terms of story is that it was boring. Unfortunately, this movie was boring. The story was not that interesting at all times. And I don't know why. Like, what happened, man? Like, Coraline is such an interesting movie with an interesting premise and makes me want to dive deeper into that world and find out who this character of the Bedouin is and all that. Night Before Christmas may not be the greatest story in the world, but at least it's a very interesting story about this guy who kind of discovers Christmas, who hates Christmas, but then he discovers that Christmas is not maybe as bad as he thinks it is. So it's that. But anyway, this story, I don't know what happened. Even James Giant Peach too, from what I remember when I saw that movie like years ago now, as a kid. That's what's interesting because James literally transforms into this stop motion animated character and interacts with these insects. So there's that. This story, it wasn't interesting. It was just boring. Like, nothing really spectacular happened for the most part. So there's that. And not even the characters could save the movie. So yeah. And finally, in terms of negatives, unfortunately, the pacing is a big issue in this movie. There are parts it felt fast, there are parts it felt slow. I don't know what was going on here. So there's that. Now, if you guys think I'm hating on this movie, I'm not. Wendell and the Wild is not a bad movie. It's not a garbage can of a film, guys. It's not. The Sea Beast is so much better, though, unfortunately, in terms of animated movies I've seen this year. I still have yet to see Lightyear, and I hope Lightyear is better than this. Because if that is worse than this, then, man, I don't know what's happening to animated movies nowadays that on, like, on from, like, Netflix and stuff. And this is from Netflix, but this is Henry Selick out of all people, guys. I love Henry Selick's style. Like, Night Before Christmas, like I said, top 50 favorite movie of mine. And Coraline's pretty good too. In fact, James Giant Peach ain't that bad too. But overall, guys, Wonder Wild is an okay movie. As a final score, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I'm sorry. That's all I can say. I respect it for what it is. It just wasn't for me. That's probably the biggest issue. It wasn't for me. I'm glad I watched it though because the animation is still great, but unfortunately it was not for me. So there you guys have it. That's my review of Wendell and Wild. Hope you guys enjoyed this review, guys. Tell me in the comments down below. Were you disappointed by this movie? Did you love it? Did you hate it? And what's also your favorite Henry Selick movie? Mine is still The Nightmare Before Christmas. Also, what's your favorite stop motion animated movie as well? Tell me all that in the comments down below, guys. I got my Avatar tickets for next Friday. Can't wait to see that before I go on my 3-week holiday to Malaysia. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. My name's Akil, otherwise known as the Comic Director, and I'm signing out.